Hello everyone, this is the review on Orion opening for the 2020 season at Kings Island in Mason, Ohio. This B&M Giga coaster sits at a height of 287 feet on the lift hill and a 300-foot drop. With a total length of 5,321 feet, it makes it the longest steel coaster in the park and the tallest. When entering the park, you're going to enter an area called Area 72. 72 stands for the year that the park opened, which was in 1972. This is a research facility, and the name of the research facility is Fort Mason. Kings Island did a very good job theming this area in reference to meteorites that landed in this area and that were investigated for a premise. You, in return, are being recruited as a volunteer to blast off on Orion to save the planet. There's different theming throughout the ride queue and everywhere around Orion. Even Flight of Fear had new theming added on the outside. You'll see a research van. You'll see a research car as you enter Area 72. And as you enter the ride queue, if you look into the middle section of it, you're going to see meteorites that are marked. And throughout the actual ride queue, you're going to see the same. There's a lot of detail, and we'll get into all that detail here in a second as we go further on the review. As you go through the ride queue, you're going to notice that different outposts have different years on them. You'll see that on the overlay here that we've added exactly what each outpost year and what roller coaster they stand for, so we can just go ahead and speed past this and continue on the review. Now, the first time we entered Kings Island and went to Orion, we had to get an access pass that gave us a later time. The second time we went there, we got at the park opening so we could hop right on. The third time, which was on July 24th, where we got a lot of our rides in, we were able to hop on, and the average wait was anywhere between 12 to 18 minutes. So very fast. As you can see for many of these videos, there's even a pre-ride video that's telling you how to ride Orion and what to do just in case basically you chicken out on the ride. And then you could also see the various types of suits that were made for Orion, and the ride queue basically showcases the amount of research that went into this one-of-a-kind ride to save the planet. Like I said before, it's designed after you being volunteered to save the Earth, and Orion's roller coaster, basically the lift hill, is basically you blasting off, and then when you return, you basically save the planet. It's, in my opinion, the best themed Giga coaster out there. It definitely is more themed than many of the other coasters out there, especially for a Cedar Fair or Six Flags chain. And every time I entered the ride queue, I noticed more and more details on it between the name of the videos and just the different types of rides that used to be at Kings Island. Some of them used to be the posters and things of that nature. But it was wonderful because it gives you something to look at as you're waiting on the roller coaster. Now, obviously, if your wait time is not that long, you're not really going to notice it as much. But if you have a longer wait time, you're going to notice it a lot more. And even the little details such as the satellites and things of that nature make it very well themed. And the whole area, even between the photo area to the locker storage to the canteen where you get your food at, all of them are designed in a special way to pay homage to Orion. And even the Flight of Fear building looks like a couple meteorites hit it, because it has some smoke and ash remnants on the side of the building to actually showcase this. Let's go ahead and get into the ride experience. Now, I was able to get a total of 6 rides in before making this video. I rode the first row, the 4th row, 6th, 7th, and 8th row. I was able to ride on the left and also ride on the right side, and sometimes in the center, depending on how the social distancing was set up. The thing I could tell you firsthand is that the left side is stronger than the right side if you're sitting on the outside rows. Now, the right side, the only strong moment that the right side would have is if you're going into the helix, and you will feel it more so on the right side than on the left side. Other than that, you're going to want to sit on the left outside row if you're given a chance. The front of the coaster offers more intense airtime and also a more intense ride experience than the actual back does. And I know that's hard to believe because many people believe that the back is stronger, but on Orion that is not the case. The front row, you're not going to feel it as strongly due to the fact, unfortunately, that you're going to have to sit in the front and the center rows, and that kind of plays into how your ride experience is going to be. If you're going to sit in the center seats on any of the rows, you're going to have a weaker ride experience than on the outside rows. And I highly recommend that you sit in either row 1 or row 6. Yes, I said row 1 or row 6, not row 8, not row 7. And there's a reason for that, and I'll explain that in just a second. As you head up the 287-foot lift hill, you're going to look to the right and you're going to look to the left, and you're going to notice a variety of different things. First, on the left, you're going to notice the wooded area that surrounds Kings Island. On the right, you're going to be able to see the Beast, you're going to be able to see Diamondback, Gatekeeper, everything that corresponds in the park. The only thing that sits higher in the park is going to be the Eiffel Tower. As you get to the top of the lift hill, you're going to notice a slight slowdown on the roller coaster. Orion does a slight slowdown before descending on its 300-foot drop. This is where you get your more intense airtime in the back instead of the front, and that is probably the only moment that you're going to see this difference. As you go down the first drop, you're going to get your highest amount of speed, which is going to be 91 miles per hour. After you hit that speed, you're going to ascend up a wave turn that's going to turn to the left. If you're sitting in the far outside left seat, you're going to experience more intensity on this wave turn than on the right. And like I said before, in the center rows, you're not going to experience it as much. As you exit off of that wave turn, you're going to hit another drop, and then you're going to ascend on a turnaround. This turnaround slows down the coaster a lot, but you will definitely be able to see the great angles, and also you'll be able to see a couple different features inside the park for a second before dropping back down. Once you drop back down, you're going to hit a short speed hill. This speed hill actually gives you your biggest pop of airtime throughout the whole roller coaster. Once you hit that big pop of airtime, you're probably going to regain your momentum and think that the ride is going to get more intense after that, but actually it doesn't. After that, you're going to descend down another drop after the speed hill. It's a short drop this time, before ascending up another hill, which they call a Camelback Hill. There's going to be a trim on that Camelback Hill that's going to cut the speed down a little bit before it enters the helix. The helix is going to turn to the right, so it's a right-hand helix. That's why I said you're going to experience more intensity on the right outside row than you're going to experience on the left outside row. And again, if you're sitting in the center, you're not going to experience it as much. Once you get out of that helix, you're going to go down a small little drop, and then you're going to hit a little sharp left sharp. It's kind of like an RMC moment before you pop down, and you're going to get another good pop of airtime on that drop. After that, you're going to hit a small little hill before hitting the brake run, where you're going to just get a slight pop before you hit the brakes fully. In turn, this coaster's full ride experience after the first drop is about 54 seconds long. After riding it 6 times, I could definitely say that it's not the best ride in the park, or coaster in the park. It sits at number 3 for me, and I explained this throughout, and there's many reasons why. Mystic Timbers and Diamondback offer two of the most extreme experiences in the park. Mystic Timbers offers airtime and keeps good pace, and Diamondback offers great airtime. Now, if you just like speed, you'll probably rate Orion as your number one coaster in the park, but rating it off of other things, that is the reason for that. It's not stating that Orion's not a good coaster. We just wouldn't rank it in the great category. So in turn, before we go into more of the review here on Orion, I would rate it an 8.5 out of 10. The reason for it not getting more of a score on that is because its intensity is not as strong. There's not a lot of pops of airtime. The length is short, and the height and speed and the length could have made this one of the best Giga coasters out there. The capacity is great, even with the social distancing going on and them only being able to sit at the most 16 riders per train. But besides it being a people eater, Orion just misses a head mark because it could have offered a better ride experience in terms of offering some more elements, some more airtime moments to make it one of the best Giga coasters out there. If Orion was given those different elements and a little more length, it would probably be ranked one of the top Giga coasters in the world. Like I said, it does not mean that it's not the best, or it does not mean that it's not a good coaster. In terms of just overall experience, it took about 3 or 4 rides to finally appreciate Orion for what it is. The first 3 rides, I was underwhelmed. I'm not going to lie. And many other roller coaster enthusiasts and channels and vloggers shared the same experiences after the first couple rides. It does grow on you a little bit, and you do start appreciating Orion for what it is. But that is why it's rated only an 8.5 out of 9, or out of 10. Now, in terms of the area, it is the best themed coaster, like I stated. And even as you get off of the coaster and you walk around the different area, around Area 72, you're going to appreciate how much detail was put into that area. I think Kings Island has something bigger up its sleeve, even though COVID-19 probably could have possibly delayed it. But I think we're going to see a more intense coaster entering Kings Island here soon. I think this is more built for the general public than for roller coaster enthusiasts. But I think we see something more intense from Kings Island in the future. And with that being said, that concludes our review of Orion. Please get out to Kings Island to ride it and let us know what you think. If you've already ridden Orion, please let us know what you think in the comments below. We'll be happy to respond to you. Hopefully you guys don't take this too seriously as in terms of getting offended by anything that we slated. This is just our personal experience and my personal opinion on this coaster. It doesn't mean that it's a bad ride. It doesn't mean that it's anything great. It just means that it's a good coaster. It's a good addition to Kings Island. And it's a good addition for the year 2020. With that being said, this is Chris signing off for Midwest Coaster fans. Until next time, I want to thank you again for watching and have a great day.